Take
I
two.
want, I want, I want Kaylee's voice to narrate everything.
Exactly,
So
right?
soothing.
I think
Hey,
I think she would make a good narrator if you do a new All Hallows Eve movie. Just have her do the narration. I think it'd be
I
fun.
mean, I want like GPS. I want like Anyway, hi, man.
Hey,
Welcome to our interview. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little bit today.
yes, I'm excited to be talking to you about all about the All Hallows Eve franchise in a way, even though Inferno is a new installment. But
Mhm.
this is where we got introduced technically to this icon right here that I'm wearing, Art the Clown. And
Sure.
but it's great to meet you, and I'm really excited. I didn't get to check out Inferno yet. I'm going to be checking it out tonight, as a matter of fact. So that's going to be on my list. But
Cool.
I did see the first two, and I absolutely loved them. I love these horror anthologies, so great job on them.
Thank you, man. Well, it's important that you know right from the jump what Inferno is. The shorts for Inferno, they were not put together specifically for Inferno. What lured me to want to do another installment in the All Hallows Eve franchise was I wanted a way to give other filmmakers the exact type of chance that Damien got when All Hallows Eve premiered, and it ended up being, for all intents and purposes, like the calling card, or the proof of concept for the Terrifier movies. And when I was approached, I thought about it. I'm like, let me see if I can come up with a cool angle. And I called Jesse Baget of Ruthless Pictures back, and I said, what if we, instead of having shorts made specifically for it, what if we do the opposite? What if we take shorts that are already existing? And the reason why I suggested that, because as a short filmmaker or as an indie filmmaker, you make these shorts, but unfortunately they have a very finite lifespan, right?
Great.
Do your festival run, you are featured on a couple of websites, and then pretty soon your film is up on YouTube or Vimeo or any other video platform like that. And no one gets to see them. And the best that the filmmaker could hope for is that someone happens upon them. So the idea for this one and the direction we're taking it is to take these pre-existing films and exposing them to a much wider audience, an audience that wouldn't be able to get to a festival. I mean, there are parts in this country and places worldwide that absolutely nothing like a film festival happens at, right?
Yeah,
So be able to have the opportunity to give these viewers a chance to see like what would equate into a short film program in their living room, I thought that was pretty exciting. And it would give them a second life. And hopefully, as with the original All Hallows Eve, people will see it and the right people will see it. And maybe they'll make a feature or two based upon their short. And that's what I found most exciting about doing this particular project, to be able to give the indie filmmaker and the short filmmakers a new avenue in which to get their work out there.
that just shows dedication, in my opinion. Because I totally agree. I've seen a lot of short films, and I totally agree. We only get like the festival runs. The only way I get to see most of these things through are like screener links or and whatnot. So I totally get like, and because when I watch some of them, I like even the horror ones, especially the horror ones. I feel like this can go to a wider audience.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is how can
How?
that
There's,
happen?
there's,
So you just
there's never been a vehicle. So
yeah.
now we're test driving, baby. We're building a vehicle and seeing how it goes.
That's awesome. And this one features two legends, Heather Langenkamp and Larry Cedar.
Mhm.
What was that like with them involved with this anthology? What was
It
that?
was great to see their involvement. When I put out the call for short films, I did so on my social media, not expecting the reaction that I got. I got sent over 900 movies,
Wow.
and I watched every damn one of them because if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Hmm.
And also, I'm a little selfish. I like watching cool shit.
Yeah.
So, it definitely made it easier, but I didn't necessarily pick those movies because of any particular star. What I was looking for, I mean, it's great that they're there, and I love that they're there, and what an honor it is to have them. But what I was looking for was the best shorts that told the best stories, you know? And on Inferno, it was important that all the shorts were different, you know? There's good psychological stories under, there's good ghost stories under, there's a great monster movie out there, you know? And I think with anthologies in particular, being that we don't have to adhere to a particular theme, like having shorts created for it, it gave us the opportunity to have more of a mixture, more of a potpourri, if you will, of different types of content. And you know what? I hope people dig it for what it is. It's not meant to be this cohesive one story. It's meant to show you these really cool films by these really cool filmmakers. And the reason why that's so important, I mean, I've done a lot in my career, but I consider this to be one of the most important things, is because you hear people say, well, you never know where the next Romero is going to come from. You never know where the next Carpenter, Raimi, whatever. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's the indie horror scene. It's where they always come from. So to be able to give these younger filmmakers a chance to do something cool, and be a part of something cool and expose their work to the world, which it should have been exposed to by already, but for whatever reason wasn't. It's a privilege, man.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember my experience was a couple of years ago. I went to a horror convention, my first ever horror convention, and I got to go to a short film festival. And some of the choices I saw like blew my mind. And then, in certain ones I was thinking to myself, oh my God, if this was made to a feature film, I would definitely want to see this one like right off the bat. And,
Absolutely.
you know, and it was really cool is like I think one of the films I saw, I actually got it contacted by the filmmaker themselves, and he's like, "Oh, I saw you reviewed my movie, my short film. I'm really excited. I want to do an interview with you." And I think now he's trying to make a feature film out of it.
Awesome.
It's had his festival run, so I'm really excited for him. Um,
Awesome.
the film's called Escalation. I definitely would recommend that one as any fan of short films. If you can find this movie, I would recommend Escalation. It's from Christian Bacchini. It was amazing Italian Chinese co-production, very disturbing but amazingly like done. It brought like the psychological and the giallo like meshed it together.
See, just like your website said, it's all about the films, but it's also all about the filmmakers. And
Exactly.
it's all about the fans. And the fans need to be able to see these things. And if I can be able to help them and expose them to something they may not have had a chance to have gotten to see on their own, then how could I not jump at that chance?
Yep, exactly. I mean, and if this one does well enough, who knows? If this gets some clout, you never know. You might want to keep going with this with the franchise.
It's up to the fans, man. If they want to keep seeing cool shorts and they can accept this for exactly what it is, and that's like a short film block in their own house, then I'll make them for as long as I'm able to. I'll pick
Yep.
them. I'll be happy to. I mean, getting the word out there about someone's work who you respect and you like is one of the most important things in the world, man. Because we live in a world where everybody's so divisive, and the one thing that always ends up bringing us all together is film or music. So it's important to be able to do that.
Yeah, especially horror films because they're like a community basically. They're like their own little family. Like
Yeah, we
I can't even describe how many like people like horror filmmakers and actors I've talked to, and they're just always cohesive. They're like a lot of them are gelling together, and then just they're willing to support each other come hell or high water. So
don't have a union, so all we have is each other. I'm happy to say I've been in that mix for 30 years, and I love what I do, and I love the opportunities that I get, and I love even moments where I can talk to people like you and hang out with you and bullshit for a little while. It's all a privilege, man.
yep, and it's mine too because I'm the one who's doing the interviews here, and and I'm not one of these like journalistic types. I just when I'm talking to a filmmaker or actor, I want to talk to them like I'm hanging out with them at a bar, basically, like just shooting the breeze and talking about films and stuff, and that's something I've been doing for like 9 years now, and I absolutely
They're
love it.
just people, man, just like everyone else.
Exactly. So with that said, what's next for you after Inferno now that that's out? What's coming up
I
next for you?
have a project with a studio, a big studio that I can't really comment on, but immediately next, I have a book coming out called A Comedy of Tragedies, which is actually my autobiography of working in the industry for fuck, it feels like forever. But that's what's coming out next. It's December 10th is the release date, and I hope people get a chance to check it out because it's quite a ride, man.
Awesome. Well, everyone, All Hallows Eve Inferno is now on Tubi and Fandango, or is that and yeah, if you love anthologies, you're gonna want to see this. It's a definite check out the other ones too. You definitely want to see the original All Hallows Eve, the second one, and Trickster as well, because these are great films. And if you are a true fan of indie film, you will support the films and the filmmakers. And Steve, thank you so much again for taking the time to talk about it.
My pleasure, man. Thank you for being interested. And whenever you put up your coverage, share it with me on social media so I could share it as well.
Definitely will. Well, you take care and you stay awesome as always.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye bye.